What's up, trainers? Welcome back to PokePlayLab_DBSHQ, your home for top-tier Pokemon TCG strategy, competitive deck builds, and everything you need to stay ahead of the meta. Today, we're breaking down a master deck build featuring the incredible combo of Mega Greninja X and Mega Starmie X. This deck brings explosive pressure, incredible synergy, fast-paced tempo, and non-stop board control from the very first turn. Once this deck gets rolling, it puts your opponent on the defensive immediately and keeps them fighting to catch up for the rest of the game. Whether you're climbing the ranked ladder, preparing for your next tournament, or looking to dominate your local scene, this is a deck you'll want in your collection. A quick shout out to this amazing community. If you have a channel of your own, drop it in the comments. I love checking out your content and supporting fellow creators whenever I can. And don't forget to check out the community tab for polls and updates, plus the announcements playlist for tournament news, special events, and upcoming giveaways. Now it's time to lock in, trainers. Let's take control of the board, apply relentless pressure, and show exactly what this deck can do. And remember, prepared trainers win games. Alright trainers, let's kick things off with 4 copies of Froakie. This is a basic water-type Pokemon with 70 HP and 2 useful attacks. First, we have Collect, which costs 1 colorless energy and lets you draw a card, helping you set up your hand early in the game. Next is Water Gun, which costs 1 water energy and deals 10 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Froakie has a ×2 weakness to Lightning-type Pokemon and a retreat cost of 1 colorless energy. While it's not here to be your main attacker, it's an important piece that helps us get into our powerful Greninja line as quickly as possible. Next up, we have 3 copies of Greninja EX, a water-type Pokemon and the final evolution of Froakie. Greninja X comes in with an impressive 300 HP, making it a powerful threat that can take some serious hits. Its attack, Shifting Shuriken, costs 1 water energy and 1 colorless energy and deals 100 damage. After attacking, you flip a coin. If it lands on heads, the attack deals an additional 100 damage, bringing the total up to 200 damage. Even if the flip doesn't go your way, you're still hitting for a solid 100 damage. To get Greninja EX into play as quickly as possible, we're running Rare Candy, allowing us to skip Frogadier and evolve Froakie directly into Greninja EX. Greninja EX has a ×2 weakness to Lightning-type Pokemon and a retreat cost of 2 colorless energy. With its high HP and the potential to hit for massive damage, Greninja EX is one of the key attackers that helps this deck apply constant pressure throughout the game. Next up, we have 2 copies of Mega Greninja EX, the Mega Evolution of Greninja EX and one of the most powerful Pokemon in the deck. This water-type Pokemon comes in with a massive 350 HP, making it incredibly difficult for opponents to take down. Mega Greninja EX features both a powerful ability and a strong attack. First, let's look at its ability, Mortal Shuriken. Once during your turn, if Mega Greninja EX is in the active spot, you may discard a basic water energy from your hand. When you do, you get to place 6 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. This gives you incredible control over the board, allowing you to soften up key threats, set up knockouts, or pick off low HP Pokemon sitting on the bench. Its attack, Ninja Spinner, costs 2 water energy and deals 120 damage. You may then return a water energy attached to Mega Greninja EX back to your hand. If you do, the attack deals an additional 80 damage, bringing the total to an impressive 200 damage. This gives you the flexibility to either conserve energy resources or push for bigger knockouts when needed. With its high HP, spread damage ability, and powerful attack, Mega Greninja EX is a major threat that can control the pace of the game while applying constant pressure to your opponent. Mega Greninja EX has a ×2 weakness to Lightning-type Pokemon and a retreat cost of 1 colorless energy. Next up, we have 4 copies of Misty's Staryu, a basic water-type Pokemon with 70 HP. While it's primarily in the deck to help us reach our evolution line, it can still create some early game pressure with its attack. Bubble Beam costs just 1 water energy and deals 20 damage. After attacking, you flip a coin. If it lands on heads, your opponent's active Pokemon becomes paralyzed, potentially buying you an extra turn to set up your board while slowing down your opponent's game plan. That paralysis effect can be surprisingly impactful in the early stages of a match, especially when you're looking to establish your key attackers and maintain momentum. Misty's Staryu has a ×2 weakness to Lightning-type Pokemon and a retreat cost of 1 colorless energy. Next up, we have 4 copies of Misty's Starmie, a water-type Pokemon and the evolution of Misty's Staryu. Coming in with 100 HP, this Pokemon can apply some serious pressure when it hits the board at the right time. Its attack, Abrupt Flash, costs just 1 water energy and deals 60 damage. However, if Misty's Starmie evolved from Misty's Staryu during that same turn, the attack does an additional 80 damage, bringing the total to an impressive 140 damage for a single energy. That makes Misty's Starmie an incredibly efficient attacker, capable of taking early knockouts and putting immediate pressure on your opponent while requiring very little energy investment. It's a great way to keep the tempo on your side and force your opponent to respond. Misty's Starmie has a ×2 weakness to Lightning-type Pokémon and a retreat cost of 1 colorless energy. Next up, we have 4 copies of Mega Starmie EX, the Mega Evolution of Starmie and one of the deck's primary heavy hitters. This Water-type Pokémon comes in with a massive 330 HP, giving it the durability to stay on the board and continuously pressure your opponent. Its first attack, Jetting Blow, costs just 1 water energy and deals 120 damage to your opponent's active Pokémon. On top of that, it also deals 50 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokémon. Keep in mind that weakness and resistance are not applied to benched Pokémon, making this a fantastic attack for spreading damage across the board and setting up future knockouts. Its second attack, Nebula Beam, costs 3 colorless energy and deals a huge 210 damage. What makes this attack especially powerful is that its damage isn't affected by weakness, resistance, or any effects on your opponent's active Pokémon. That means Mega Starmie X can punch through many defensive abilities and effects that would normally reduce or prevent damage. Between its high HP, bench sniping capabilities, and powerful damage output, Mega Starmie X gives this deck another major threat that can pressure multiple Pokémon at once and close out games quickly. Mega Starmie X has a ×2 weakness to Lightning-type Pokémon and a retreat cost of 2 colorless energy. Next up, we have 2 copies of Keldeo, a basic Water-type Pokémon with 110 HP that provides both early game pressure and energy acceleration for the deck. Its first attack, Shoot Through, costs just 1 water energy and deals 20 damage to your opponent's active Pokémon. It also deals 20 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokémon. As always, weakness and resistance are not applied to benched Pokémon, making this a useful attack for spreading damage and setting up future knockouts across the board. Its second attack, Reflect Energy, costs 2 water energy and deals 70 damage. After attacking, you can move an energy attached to Keldeo to one of your benched Pokémon. This effect helps accelerate your setup by powering up your next attacker while still applying pressure to your opponent. Keldeo does a great job supporting the deck's strategy by spreading damage, maintaining energy flow, and helping you transition into your stronger attackers more efficiently. Keldeo has a ×2 weakness to Lightning-type Pokémon and a retreat cost of 1 colorless energy. Next up, we're running 3 copies of Dawn. Dawn lets us search our deck for a basic Pokémon, a Stage 1 Pokémon, and a Stage 2 Pokémon, reveal them, add them to our hand, and then shuffle the deck. And in this deck, that effect is absolutely perfect. With a single card, Dawn becomes a full evolution engine. We can grab Misty's Staryu, Misty's Starmie all at once. That means instant setup, incredible consistency, and no guessing. Instead of hoping we draw the pieces we need, we're searching for them directly. That's why Dawn is such an important supporter in this deck. It fuels our evolution lines, speeds up our strategy, and helps get our main attackers online much faster. Next up, we're running 3 copies of Wally's Compassion, a powerful recovery option for your Mega Pokémon. This card lets you heal all damage from one of your Mega Evolution Pokémon X. Then, if you healed any damage this way, you'll return all energy attached to that Pokémon back to your hand. It's a great way to reset your main attacker, keep it in the game longer, and reuse your energy for your next big play. Next up, we've got 3 copies of Boss's Orders. This card lets you switch in one of your opponent's benched Pokémon into the active spot, which can be a total game changer. The key here is timing. Only play Boss's Orders when you know you can knock out the Pokémon right away. Whether it's to finish off a damaged threat or pick off a weaker target for a quick prize card, it's all about setting up that decisive play. That's why I run 3 copies. It can turn the game in your favor instantly. Use it wisely. Now let's move on to the item cards. First up, we have 2 copies of Great Hall Net, one of the recovery cards that helps keep this deck running throughout the game. When you play Great Hall Net, you can choose one or both of its effects. You can shuffle up to 3 water Pokémon from your discard pile back into your deck, and you can also shuffle up to 3 basic water energy cards from your discard pile back into your deck. This card is incredibly important because we're constantly using and discarding resources as the game progresses. Great Hall Net allows us to recover key attackers, get important evolution pieces back into the deck, and recycle energy so we can continue applying pressure turn after turn. Whether you're recovering from a knockout or preparing for a late-game comeback, Great Hull Net gives this deck the consistency and staying power it needs to keep the momentum on your side. Next up, we have 3 copies of Jumbo Ice Cream, a fantastic healing card that helps keep our attackers in the fight longer. When you play Jumbo Ice Cream, you heal 80 damage from your active Pokémon, as long as it has 3 or more energy attached to it. In a deck like this, where we're constantly building up powerful attackers, getting an extra 80 HP worth of healing can be the difference between losing a Pokémon and surviving for another turn. The only requirement is making sure your active Pokémon has at least 3 energy attached. Which is something we're often doing anyway. Overall, Jumbo Ice Cream gives us valuable sustainability, helps swing damage races in our favor, and makes it much harder for opponents to secure important knockouts. Next up, we're running 4 copies of PokéPad. This card lets you search your deck for a Pokémon without a rulebox, reveal it, and add it to your hand before shuffling your deck. That means you can grab important setup pieces like Froakie, Misty's Staryu and Misty's Starmie exactly when you need them. Just remember, Pokémon X and Pokémon V have ruleboxes, so they can't be searched with this card. Overall, it's a great consistency card that helps keep the deck running smoothly. Next up, we have 2 copies of Buddy Buddy Poffin, one of the best setup cards in the deck. When you play Buddy Buddy Poffin, you can search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokémon with 70 HP or less and put them directly onto your bench. After that, you shuffle your deck. This card is incredibly important for helping us establish our board early in the game. It allows us to quickly find key basics like Froakie and Misty's Staryu, getting our evolution lines in play faster and setting up our strategy from the very first turns. The faster we can fill our bench and develop our board, the faster we can get our powerful attackers online, making Buddy Buddy Poffin a huge consistency card for this deck. Next up, we're running 2 copies of Night Stretcher, and this card is all about resource recovery. Night Stretcher lets you grab either a Pokémon or a basic energy from your discard pile and put it straight back into your hand. Simple effect, but incredibly powerful in this deck. Night Stretcher lets you immediately reload, putting key Pokémon back into your hand so you can rebuild your board and keep the pressure on. And if you're ever short on energy, it can grab a basic energy instead, but recovering your Pokémon line is usually the priority. Next up, we have 3 copies of Rare Candy, one of the most important cards in the entire deck. Rare Candy allows us to choose one of our basic Pokémon in play and, if we have the corresponding Stage 2 Pokémon in our hand, evolve directly into that Stage 2, completely skipping the Stage 1 evolution. Of course, there are a couple of restrictions. You can't use Rare Candy on your first turn, and you can't use it on a basic Pokémon that was put into play during the same turn. The main reason we're running Rare Candy is to get our powerful Stage 2 Pokémon online as quickly as possible. Instead of spending multiple turns evolving through every stage, we can jump straight from Froakie into Greninja X, allowing us to start applying pressure and executing our game plan much sooner. In a deck built around strong Stage 2 attackers, Rare Candy is a huge consistency card that helps us maintain speed and stay ahead of our opponent. Next, we have 1 copy of Prime Catcher. This card lets you switch one of your opponent's benched Pokémon into the active spot, and if you do, you also switch your active Pokémon with one from your bench. It's a powerful gust effect that gives you control over the board and helps you pick the right target at the right time. Next up, we have 4 copies of Bubbly Water Energy, a special energy card that provides both energy acceleration and protection for our Pokémon. As long as Bubbly Water Energy is attached to a Pokémon, it provides 1 water energy. On top of that, the water Pokémon it's attached to recovers from all special conditions and cannot be affected by any special conditions going forward. This means cards and effects that cause sleep, paralysis, burn, poison, or confusion become much less effective against our strategy. Not only can we remove existing special conditions, but we can also prevent new ones from slowing us down. In a deck that wants to keep attacking every turn and maintain constant pressure, Bubbly Water Energy is an excellent way to protect our key attackers while still providing the water energy they need to power up their attacks. We're running 7 water energy to keep our Pokémon fully powered and ready to attack every single turn, maintaining non-stop pressure from the opening setup all the way to the final knockout. And that wraps up our master deck build featuring the incredible combo of Mega Greninja EX and Mega Starmie EX. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more high-level Pokémon TCG content, and drop a comment letting me know your favorite combo, or what deck you want to see next. Stay ready, stay sharp, because a real trainer is never caught off guard. And remember, decks don't win games, prepared trainers do.